Ya.
With peace restored to the kingdom, Doug organized a grand tournament in Reggie's honor. As
Mira.
tradition decrees, a new king must prove his worth before all the realms.
¿Tú?
The Crimson Keep was playing host to the traveling squirrel folk on their annual pilgrimage to the Bright Fir. They honored the young king with an invite to their Leaf's Fall Festival, the first outsider to be asked to this mysterious gathering in generations. Reggie was pleased to take some time away from battle to experience the wonder of the great golden woods. Rex the Bard looked nervous. He'd found the crypt gates open. No amount of fermented bug juice would see him go in, but his bandmates were not always so wise. The young king didn't hesitate. The rabbits of white whiskers had sent their most agile warrior. It would take more than a hop and a skip to overcome the formidable gray users. Reggie's head was pained from the drinking and the noise of last night, but he'd still found his bed. What had these young bards found? Amy had taken refuge by an old statue and was getting some much-needed shut-eye. Reggie only meant to wake the bard, but his shout awoke the zombified remains of Musamoto Musashi. Musamoto was a legendary swordmaster. Reggie hoped to get one more lesson before putting him to rest. Wished he could have learned from Musamoto when he was alive. But now, his dual blades had fallen silent forever. Reggie directed Amy to the Crimson Keep, glad to have found her safe.
Oh my god. What? Coba tenang. Reside en las criptas. Cherry Mercury.
Seems Amy wasn't the only bard who hadn't reappeared. Rex still needed help. Amy was waiting with Rex. She'd remembered what they'd been looking for in the crypts. The Book of Immortal Song. Maybe Chetty Mercury was still searching the Hall of Books. The dream of music that lasts forever was worth the risk to these talented young bards. Hare. Gray Ears put up a hearty challenge, but his grand hops were no match for Reggie's iron will. Captain Blacktail, a treacherous pirate, notorious for his adventures across the 3 seas. Reggie wondered if he was as fearsome on land. Scurvy sea rat put up a good fight, but Reggie thought the captain might be better off sticking to the ocean.
Qué mierda.
Dennis had returned with a vengeance, fully armed to the whiskers. He'd already lost one tournament and was determined he wouldn't lose another. Dennis once again felt the bitterness of defeat at his younger brother's paws. Eivor was an old ally of King Rattus. Side by side, the pair had fought frog scum together many times. Could Reggie live up to his father? Eivor was here to find out. Eivor happily admitting defeat, Reggie knew he had passed the old rat's challenge. The young rat truly was the people's king.
Muere, maldito viejo lesbiano. Toma, te meto un malazo.
A fitting reward for winning the tournament, Reggie was presented with the King's Key. It's a good thing Doug had eventually found it, as Reggie had been sorely tempted to break the lock himself. But as they say, curiosity kills the rat. The king's chamber smelled of fresh lilac and gooseberries, while the bed glistened with crisp silk sheets. Strangely, a slight breeze blew from behind the bookcase.
¿Cómo? Periodista que es. No, voy a morir. A ver si ya te cagaste, imbécil. No, ¿qué es eso?
This half-rat, half-frog abomination must have been the work of his father. Reggie wondered whether this was the source of all the undead in the crypts. Another of King Rattus's secrets, best kept hidden.
Oye, Freddie Mercury.
Reggie glimpsed Chetty running deeper into the crypts. Something had scared him. Something lurking in the shadows. Reggie caught up with the lost musician, but Chetty wasn't leaving without the Book of Immortal Song. Reggie had little choice but to help the bard.
Cool.
As soon as Reggie set paw in the Hall of Books, he knew something was wrong. Something in the shadows, quieter than a mouse. It was Fang Boo, an infamous warlord known for his brutality with a halberd.
Oh. ¿Me cayó?
With Fang Boo finally laid to rest, Chetty scooped up pages of the Book of Immortal Song. With a nod of thanks to Reggie, he scurried towards the surface. After all they'd been through, Reggie hoped the young bards gave a historic performance. If any more bards went missing, the Crimson Keep would fall silent. Reggie needed to speak to Rex and the other bards. As Reggie felled the last of the undead, Bertle appeared, calling for help.
Wait.
A young rat was under attack. Reggie and Bertle rushed to his homestead. Not a horde, but Crocus Khan. This fearsome Toad King rode his lizard steed into many a battle, but this would be his last. It's rumored that 1 in 8 frogs can trace their lineage to the great crocus. But this old toad would sire no more. With Crocus defeated, Johnny and Bertle thanked Reggie for his help. Reggie hoped in the future they would find safer and less pungent places to trade. Rex had asked the king to meet the bards in the cellar. He had a grand vision for the Crimson Keep's dark storeroom. Rex's plan was to convert the dank cellar into a bustling pub, if some rat could gather the materials. Reggie was happy to find what they needed. If for no other reason, then it may stop so many bards disappearing into the crypts. Reggie could see himself spending many a night in The King's Tale, basking in the music, sipping red berry wine, and regaling the rat folk with tales of his battles, whether they wanted to be regaled or not. King Demolition rarely lost in the arena, but new challengers are always keen to try their luck. Reggie's renown in the arena brought challengers from every corner of the known ratdom. From the cold rivers of the north came the brutal Billy Von Dam.
La mierda.
Even this beaver's bite wasn't enough to stop King Demolition. Reggie wondered if he'd gained any fans among the beaver folk. Mohammed Moli made a name for himself with his swift feet and swifter paws. But Reggie could roll like a hedgehog and pounce like a bat.
Oh. No lo puedo pegar, qué chucha.
This swift-pawed champion was as light-footed as any dancer of the Bolshevik ballet, but not nimble enough to overcome King Demolition. The Grubbuster armor was Molkind's ingenious defense against even the most vicious grub bites. Reggie wondered how it would stand up to his sword. The plate armor of the Grubbuster suit didn't stand a chance against King Demolition and his trusty sword. Reggie wondered if the moles would make him a Frogbuster suit.
Yo quiero un traje.